Namaste. Welcome back to Weekly Wellness Tuneups. This week we're discussing freedom. What does it mean to be free? And do you give yourself freedom? I'm not talking about external freedom. I'm talking about internal freedom. So today I'd like to start by having you ask yourself a question. What is the biggest thing holding you back in life? And what are you lacking in life? Don't overthink this. What are your first thoughts? What are your first feelings that arise to these questions? There's no wrong or right answers here. But I want you to answer this question right now. What is the biggest thing holding you back in your life, and what are you lacking? Give yourself about 20 or 30 seconds to reflect on this now. Now ask yourself, who taught you this? Who told you this was lacking in you? Again, who taught you this lack, this thing that's holding you back? And I would ask this question about that. Has this person who taught this achieved their greatest dream? Do they look content to you? Are they content? Are they living a life filled with peace, with ease, with grace, with radiance, with joy? So now I have another question. The thing that's holding you back, the thing that's lacking in your life, can you release yourself from this limiting belief? Can you choose a new reality? Can you give yourself the freedom, the permission and the freedom to do so? Aren't we the only ones who can truly free ourselves? No one else can do it for us. As the mystic poet and musician Bob Marley said, free yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Part of being authentic is listening to our own truth. What is true for us is not going to be true for our partner or our neighbor or our family or maybe even our society or the religion we belong to. We have to truly look at our core values and what's true for us. And rising out of the things that we've been taught by others, by our religion, by our society, by our country, especially those things that don't uplift us and that don't bring us to the truest, most loving version of ourselves. So I ask you the question again. What is the biggest thing holding you back in life? What do you think you're lacking in life? And are you ready to give that up? Are you ready to let yourself be free from that limited belief, that old, past, outdated belief? And allow yourself to live in your own truth, to live in your own love. If you feel safe, if you feel comfortable, feel free to share here. What is holding you back? What has held you back in your life? If you had something that was holding you back in your life and you let that go, how did you let that go? What did you do? When we share our ways of transformation with each other, if we find something of value, we can use that and grow. And then we grow one conversation at a time. So this week, give yourself the freedom, number one, to ask these questions, these very important questions. What's the biggest thing holding you back in life? And what do you think you're lacking? And who taught it to you? And is that person a living example of what you want to be in life? And are you ready to choose a new reality? Are you ready to release yourself from these limiting beliefs? Can you give yourself the freedom you deserve? Until next week, fill your heart with love, free yourself from mental slavery, and live the life of your creation. Namaste.